be warned, full on spoilers ahead. Hi guys, welcome back. So today I am very excited, very excited, one could say, because I will finally be reading The Priory of the Orange Tree. And this has been on my shelf for years now, years and years. And I love the cover, I love the premise. A world divided, a queendom without an heir, an ancient enemy awakens. I think this is going to be so good. The two things I know about this is that it's queer, or that it's sapphic, and that it has dragons, which I feel like is the perfect combination. I've tried reading this before and I got like 80 pages through. I think I've tried reading it 2 times actually, but I just didn't go through with it. It wasn't that there was anything wrong with the book. I really liked it. I didn't pick it up again at some point. I'm pretty sure that most people have read this at this point. I'm not gonna hold back. I will give full on spoilers. I will just capture my reading experience and have an outlet to probably cry and scream and swoon and whatever this book will throw at me emotion-wise and just in general. I'm very excited. I think this is going to be so good. I love fantasy, and I love a good fantasy, and I appreciate good world building, good characters, good writing, and I feel like this one will have all of that. And I think it's going to be really cool to have a book this long so that you really get into it. I think right now I'm just going to get started. I've got my coffee with me right here and the book, and I don't have that much time right now because I'm meeting friends in maybe an hour, but until then I'll just get started, and I hope you enjoy watching me probably very likely get destroyed by this book. I love the map. There's even dragons. Look at this. Empire of the 12 Lakes. Fuck yeah. I just love fantasy so much. City of the 1,000 Flowers. That's so cool. Okay, maybe I can do some predictions, because I did start to read this, right? Already, maybe a few months back. I think my favorite storyline is going to be the Dragon Rider. And I feel like that's not a very controversial hot take, because I mean, it's dragons. But I feel like the queen might be pretty high up there. I feel like the old man is probably what most people would say would be their least favorite when they start the book. So I feel like, since Samantha Shannon might know that, she will really make that one a very important one, or very good one. But I don't know, because I feel like you have like 3 women and then this old man, and I feel like she knows that, and she knows her audience probably, and so she will maybe make the storyline of the old guy, I don't know, maybe he's just an annoying old guy, I don't really know. I am exactly 100 pages through the book so far, and I'm really liking it. I mean, I thought I would, because everything sounded too perfect for me to dislike it, but I'm really enjoying this so far. I think that the first 100 pages in such a long book are like, give the opportunity for quite a slow setup, which is definitely, I feel like, the case, because not, in my opinion, that much has happened so far. We did get introduced to, I think, all of the characters, and we focused on some of the storylines a lot more than others, but So far, I'm really enjoying it. I think that there are a few storylines and characters that I prefer over others, and I do know that 1 or 2 times it did lose my attention a bit, but that's okay. I don't even mind that, because I feel like a book like this, especially like high fantasy, high fantasy, doesn't need to be like, or maybe even can't be for 800 pages, completely gripping all the time. But I thought, since this is a video where I completely spoil everything, I thought maybe I could do a check-in on like every 100-page mark that I hit from now on, and do like maybe a few predictions, because that's fun. So I wrote down a few questions for me to answer every 100 pages. My favorite characters so far. Also, if I mispronounce everything horribly, that's okay. It's okay, it's fantasy. I think my 2 favorite characters are gonna be Eid or Tane, because we haven't really gotten to know Tane yet. We've only met her in the beginning, I think. And I really want to like see what she's gonna do. I would also love to go to Ishari, I think her like roommate was called, to Feather Island with all the scholars and the knowledge. I would love if we get like a perspective from there. But yeah, I think Eid, definitely love her so much. Like, she is so cool. She's just like killing all these people trying to kill the queen. And she's so iconic about it too. I don't know, I just love her. And then I think Tane is gonna be an absolute icon as well. I think those 2 are gonna be my favorites so far. I feel like this could really switch up on me, because I'm 100 pages in of like 850. So I feel like authors usually don't want to make things too obvious from the beginning, but that's what I'm thinking right now. And then who do I think is gonna die? Because let's be real, somebody's gonna die. I feel like maybe like Niklaus, I think his name is. We just found out that like he had like his lover from the past, Jan. They were in love, and I think bro died, and now it was really sad. But I feel like he might get a redemption arc and then is gonna die, like to really like punch you with it. Also Kit is gonna die, like the friend of Loth, and those 2 are going to like this other kingdom because they got sent away. He's like the funny guy and everything, and I feel like maybe you will get like intense emotional backstory to this character, or maybe he'll sacrifice himself or something, and Loth will be like, he should have been the one to survive, and it will be really sad. Maybe Soliard will die. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just guessing here. Like 100 pages in, I really can't tell anything that's about to happen. I really hope that neither Eid or Tane is gonna die. Also, I really hope that Queen Sabran is not gonna die, because she is an icon. Although she's like quite demanding and everything, she is absolutely iconic. And also, if she dies, then the world will end, basically. So let's hope that's not gonna happen, because if that's the plot of the book, I will be very sad. Also, is the prequel about the mother and like the pirate dude? That would be interesting. But next, which storyline I think is going to be my favorite? I think Tane will have to be my favorite so far, or Eid, but that's similar to them being my favorite characters. I think just like women doing iconic shit, it's just where it's at for me, sorry. And then lastly, who do I think will fall in love with whom? I don't know if that was grammatically correct. I don't know, actually. But who is gonna fall in love with each other? That's always interesting. I know it's sapphic, and I did think we know, because I feel like in a lot of these books, they, like, the author needs to, like, tell you that love interests are of a similar age, right? So usually if there's someone very much older, very much younger than the other person, it's not gonna happen. But I know that it's sapphic, and Eid is 28, Queen Sabran is, no, Eid is 26, Queen Sabran is 28. We found that out about both of them. We do know a lot of the other characters' age though, so I feel like, I don't know if I could imagine those two together just because of the huge power imbalance. So maybe not. I think Loth is definitely in love with Eid because we did have one flashback and it was like, oh, and her freckles were so beautiful in the sun. And I was like, okay, sure, Loth. Get it. Honestly, I ship them, so I don't really know them, but I mean, Tane is a badass. Her and Eid, her and Queen Sabran. Oh, can you hear that? Yeah, football / soccer. I don't know actually. Oh, and I usually I'm very good at telling who's gonna be the love interest. I mean, usually it's fucking obvious, which I hate, but I think I'm pretty good at telling like what's gonna happen in a book. But right now, I really don't know. I feel like I'm not far in enough, but that's okay. I will just say whatever. I think Loth and Eid, honestly, I feel like that could happen because I don't know, they fight their way back to each other, or like he fights his way back to her and she is like doing all her shit, saving the world, and she's like, okay, love you, let's do this. And then who's the sapphic couple? I don't know. Tane and Queen Sabran? I don't know. I feel like it must be Queen Sabran because she does not want to marry way within her right. I mean, sorry. I mean, she has to save the world, blah, 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 but all these men can fuck off. So I feel like she is definitely queer, right? It would have to be someone close to her. So I'm saying either Eid or Tane because honestly, that would be iconic and you would have like the drama of it because Tane is like Sakanese or something and they hate each other, like these countries or queendoms, nations, whatever. They despise each other and then she's like a dragon rider. Oh, it would be really iconic. It would be like enemies to lovers, political drama, what the fuck is happening, how do we save the world kind of thing. But I don't know. I actually don't know, which is kind of intriguing me. Let's put it like that. But yeah, I'm loving this. These are my predictions that I'm just gonna check in every 100 pages and probably be like, what the fuck? Obviously, it's not Tane and Queen Sabran who will get together. I'm really loving this and I'm really curious to see where it goes because so far not much has happened. It's just been loads and loads of character introductions. I do get a bit lost sometimes, but that's okay. That's okay. I've got 700 more pages to figure it out. Okay, hi, good morning. I am so unbelievably tired. So tired. Because as you saw, I did go to Berlin yesterday. I did buy Palestine is Everywhere, edited by Sky Arundhati Thomas, with loads of Palestinian artists. In Palestine is Everywhere, Writers, thinkers, poets, and artists mapped the Palestinian struggle for liberation and its global resonances. So this is what I got. And on that train ride to Berlin, I did get loads of reading done. I am on page 276. So a good way through. And I did on page 200 write down like my predictions that I've done. Because I was like, I can't speak in this train, but my predictions, obviously. Okay, so I remember on page 100, I was like, Eid and Sabran, that would be weird. I don't know, there's a weird power imbalance. I don't know what's going on. They don't really know each other well, but the age would match. Yeah, it's the Eid and Sabran, obviously. It is gonna be them. I am so excited. I am very intrigued how their love story is gonna unfold, because so far it's like one or two like very, very subtle minor scenes of like, but like it's nice, it's cute, it is very cute. When Eid put the rose on Sabran's bed when she had to consummate her marriage. That was really sweet. That was really sweet, so that she would have nice dreams. I thought that was so cute, and I really love these two. I think it's gonna be great. I don't know what to expect, because I feel like this is definitely like high fantasy, right? And usually in fantasy, when there's a romance, you know the general outline of how it's gonna happen, and you know what feelings it's gonna evoke. It's a lot of angst, a lot of tension, like a lot of I don't even know what's gonna happen. Here I have no idea like how their romance is gonna be and how it's gonna be like unfold, and what feelings these two characters are gonna have, because obviously like she's a queen, she's married now, and everything, so I don't know. But of course, like these two also. The other like prediction, but I feel like it's pretty obvious that between Loth and Don Marta, I was really confused about that. Is Don Marta like, I don't know what that is. I thought it was her name. I swear I thought it was like Don Marta Marosa or something. And I think her first name is Marosa then. And Don Marta is some sort of position. I will need to check that because I forgot to do it. At some point he was like, the Don Marta. I was like, you can just say Don Marta. Like, that's just her name. No, girl, it's not. I don't know what a Don Marta is. But those two, like, these two are definitely gonna get together. I was pretty, like, they did get me when she revealed that she was actually, like, on their side. And then, of course, Kid died. I knew he was gonna die. I didn't think it would be that soon. I thought we would get, like, a lot of, like, emotional connection to him, and, like, because now we did connect to him, obviously, and he's so, like, sweet and heartwarming and funny and has, like, an emotional side to him as well. Like, we did explore all of that, like, a bit, but I feel like I would have expected for more emotional impact, and because of that, I thought we would have more time with him. And because of that, it somehow was even more emotional impact, because it felt less gimmicky. It felt less like the author was trying to, like, have the most emotional impact on me. It just felt like, oh my god, he died. And then Loth had to move on, and then it's like, what? Wait, Kid, please. Come on now. Get up, man. That was really sad, but I was I was on the train. I couldn't do anything. I think I let out a little gasp when I read it, because I was so shocked. And another prediction that I do have is that Sabran is maybe not the descendant of the saint, but of the witch in the woods, because they do talk about the witch in the woods, like, in suspicious amount. Like, that's, like, a huge thing. And also Sabran, like, dreams of her or, like, something. She has these nightmares about, like, this place where the Queen of the Woods lives, I think is what it was. And then that's where, like, the Sabra flower grows or something. I don't know, I just remember reading, like, Sabra flower in connection with her dreams and the Witch of the Woods. And I was like, girl, that cannot be a coincidence. You cannot name your character Sabran and then have like Sabra flowers, right? So I feel like that's a connection there. Also, my favorite storyline is Eid. Love her to death so much. She is so iconic. And my least favorite is Niklaus, because he is whiny and annoying me, and also not a good guy. I mean, it's still interesting. I don't want to like be rude, but I don't know. I am really, really enjoying it. I do think that it is at times a bit slow. Don't mind my hair. I can't be bothered today. I am so hungover, but I did reach page 300 and oh my god, what's his name? Albrecht died. He literally died. He was just killed by our girl Truide, or however, I don't know how to pronounce his names. Never mind. He was just fucking killed. Oh my god, I did not see that coming. I thought, honestly, when Sabran was like, I'm gonna marry this guy, I was like, okay, so he's gonna be like not a good guy. And then he was really sweet, and really kind from what I saw. And then he died. Oh my god. And my goodness, what is happening? But to be fair, like that scene when Sabran like left the palace to see her people and everything and go to the city, and then they were attacked, and then Eid had to protect her, and like that was pretty iconic. And to be fair, those two, I can't wait for their love story. Like, I'm actually so excited, because you get little, very subtle like snippets, and they're so close now. Like, Sabran relies so heavily on Eid for like emotional support and everything, and I don't know, it's just really sweet how close they are. And then Sabran is also like, oh, Eid, you look so beautiful today and everything, and I'm like, my goodness, it's all happening. But yeah, page 300, bro just died. Man, I feel like this is gonna be a turning point. I don't even know what kind of predictions I could have, because basically it just happened, you know? So like somebody did just die, so I don't know who else might die, but I will continue these predictions because I said I would do so. So who do I think is gonna die, except for probably everybody? Honestly, you know what, at this point I feel like, because Niklaus just saw Tane, whatever, and recognized her, and I feel like maybe he'll try to like expose her for bringing in the outsider, but maybe somehow they will have to work together, maybe escape to somewhere. I don't know, because I feel like their storylines must like interconnect somehow, on a like more extreme level than just him seeing her and then like exposing her, and then what's he gonna do? Like, I feel like they will be in contact, and maybe I feel like he'll die. He'll sacrifice himself for somebody, because we've seen him like not sacrifice himself for, what was her name, Sousa, I think, for Tane's friend, and for Solyad and everything, and he was like, I'm a selfish man, whatever. And I feel like maybe he's gonna die, and he's gonna sacrifice himself for Tane. And yeah, that's my prediction, honestly, right now, because they just like met each other very briefly, but I feel like maybe. But I am so unsure about what like Tane's storyline is gonna be. I thought we would follow her a lot more, and I don't mind, because I love following Eid and Sabran and their storyline, but I really thought that Tane would be like the main character almost. And so far, I don't know what like her story is gonna be at all, because Eid and Sabran, like, you can tell a bit like what's gonna happen. Like they'll have to fight the Nameless One and everything, and I don't know, and they'll fall in love, and then Sabran will find out that Edith is from the priory and everything, and then she'll probably exile her, but they'll still be in love, and it's gonna be angsty and good, I'm sure. Or maybe it's just gonna be really, really deeply sweet and like very loving and caring, and not even at all that, but I feel like it's gotta be angsty, right? But yeah, my favorite character, still Ede. Love her so much. She is so iconic. She's so cool. She is my absolute favorite. Still loving Sabran. Oh my god, we haven't. I just remember because I was like, what other perspective did we get? I haven't fucking heard from Beth. Is his name Beth? Loth. My god, that's how long it's been. We don't know anything about Loth. I just remembered him. I totally forgot that bro existed. I don't know, I feel like there's so much that like needs to happen, and I'm really excited. I still stand by what I said a few days ago, that sometimes it's a bit slow because I don't know, I know like this is 850 pages, so of course you can take your time a lot more, but I did just read 300 pages and not that much has happened, and I feel like you don't need that beginning and introduction phase to be that long. I still think, I forgot to say that the last time I did my predictions, but I think Tane and what's his name, Turosa or something, I mean, they must fall in love, right? But for that to happen, we need to get a bit more of Tane. Maybe that will start up again now in the middle of the book, but yeah, those are definitely gonna fall in love. Otherwise, I don't even have that many like thoughts right now. I think my least favorite storyline is still Niklaus. I think until anything more interesting happens with him, I'm just not gonna care as much. Sorry. I think it's happening. Ede is falling in love. Sabran just asked her if she will literally stay by her side forever. Yeah, totally casual and chill, of course. It's happening. It is happening. I am now on page 400, and oh my god, shit is going down. So Ede she just fled the palace. She's on the run now, and I don't know, I'm so scared for what's about to happen, but also kind of excited to see her in like her true form, not as like the girl she pretends to be at the palace, or the woman, but I'm really excited, but I'm also scared, and I don't know, I feel so bad for Sabran. Like I don't know, it's just, oh my god, I hope these two will find each other again soon. Also Loth, he's now at the priory and he can never leave. My goodness, heartbreaking. I wonder what's gonna happen, because Ede and Loth are gonna meet again, I'm sure. But then I wonder, I hope he gets to leave somehow. But yes, like everything's sort of just been like upended. I don't even know if that's the right word, but everything just changed. What predictions do I have? I feel like maybe Loth can escape and help Morosa in Iskalin. I don't know, maybe. I still think those two would be, oh my god, and Tane, she's going to Feather Island. I remember at the very beginning of reading this book, I was like, I hope that we get to see some of Feather Island, because it's too cool of a place to not play any like significant role in the book. But like, her dragon is captured and she's now gonna be on Feather Island, which is crazy. I really thought that like her storyline would be as a dragon rider, like, and that it would be like one of the main stories as well. And I don't know, maybe she can escape Feather Island. I wonder like if her friend Ishari, I think, but if like she's gonna play a big role, then Nikolais is now on the pirate ship. His storyline, I'm sorry, I still find it very boring. Like, he is my least favorite storyline. I'm sorry, it's just a bit boring whenever we get to him. Eid is still my favorite character, obviously. Like, she is just so cool. I love her, and the fact that, I don't know, she and Sabran, they built this really beautiful friendship and now love, and it's so nice. And it's really sad that they like got torn apart just now. I am now on page 500, and still shit is going down. Eid and Loth have now finally reunited, which I'm so happy about. And she is rebelling against the priory, and she like her and Loth just fled the priory, and now they're gonna go to Sabran, and I am scared because I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how Sabran's gonna feel about Eid, if she's gonna be happy or if she's gonna be like hurt about like all the lies and everything. And also I feel like I don't have any more predictions because this story is so huge and it like spans such a huge area of just this world, and so much is happening all the time, that I feel like all I can do is read. Like, as soon as I really try to think about everything that's going on, like my head just gets, I don't know, I just can't really do it. Tane, I find it really sad how little of her we get in this book, at least so far, because I would have imagined her to play a much bigger role, and I feel like all the characters of her perspective that were introduced in the beginning, like we never saw them again, and it felt a bit like just a loss of some cool characters. Wait a second. Did our girl, the Witch of the Woods, I forgot her name, just say that she loved Galian, whom she adopted? And then like she literally said, by this time I loved him not as a mother, I loved him as companions do. Girl, please, like, what? That's really fucked, you know? That's really fucking fucked, you know? What is happening? Okay, so basically the Witch of the Woods is like the descendant of the Queens and the Barathonet family, or whatever they're called, right? Which I predicted, but okay, so she adopted Galian, or however you pronounce his name, and then after years and years, when he turned 25, she decided, never mind all that maternal shit, I'ma love him romantically. And then she deceived him by like deceiving him to make him think she is actually another woman. Okay, what the fuck? What the fuck? My goodness, like you just can't make that shit up, like, honestly. And like Samantha Shannon did make it up. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy. Oh shit, that's a very insane and brutal story. Like him like committing suicide at the place of his birth and where he was raised by Caliber. That's pretty crazy shit. Like, that's pretty heavy, guys. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Honestly, Caliber, girl, go to therapy, man. That's crazy. So she shapeshifted into a dragon to fuck with Sabron's head or what? Like, that's crazy. That is actually insane. Girl, please. Okay, so she's gonna cosplay as Sabron. Like, girl is a super fan or what? Come on. Honestly, yeah, when Eid ran from Caliber and like broke that oath, I thought that was crazy stupid. Like, girl, what did you think would happen? She would just not care? That was low-key random. Like, I would have thought Eid would know better than to like break a promise to like 1,000 or 100-year-old super crazy powerful witch. I am now on page 600. What the fuck just happened? I mean, girl, what the fuck? I mean, I was right about Sabron being the descendant of Caliber. My favorite character is still Eid. I don't think that's gonna change. And I feel like it's pretty sad because I think there was a lot of potential for like Tane and everything and for these different characters, but I feel like somehow I am really loving this book. I'm loving the world and everything and how high the stakes are, and I really like the characters, but what I find lacking is like any sort of emotional connection to the characters. But I'm still loving this just because it's so well done in like the world building and the fantasy aspect of it, and the characters as well. Like, they're really cool and well thought out people. Honestly, at this point, we've got like 200 pages left. I feel like the story is just beginning, kind of. And I think that honestly, Tane's story and Roos's story are sadly pretty unnecessary. Like, Bruce's story, I just don't care about. Every time we get his perspective, I'm like, girl, whatever, I don't care. Tane, I like as a character. We just don't see anything of her, and like she had like this magical power outburst, if I remember correctly. But then it's been like maybe 100 pages or something since that happened, or maybe not. I did like just start this again because I was at a festival for like the past 5 days. So I like not everything is as clearly in my mind as it was before I left. But still, like, I just feel like we could have really done something really, really great with Tane as a character, and with Nikolais as well, because he's annoying and he's really not a cool person, I think, in my opinion. But there was quite a lot of potential for me to get hooked and to make him like an interesting perspective to read from. But I feel like neither of those characters have any actual impact on the story. And if they do, it's like these huge plot points, but not like anything relating to them as people. Those are my thoughts so far. Page 600. I thought there would be more dragons, more dragon riders. I think it's really, really sad that from Tane's perspective, we had like such cool characters introduced and then they were never seen again. Never. Like, I made it to page 700. We've done it. We're almost done. And I am also sick, which is why my brain feels super fried and like I can't form a single proper sentence, but that's okay. I gotta be honest, those last 100 pages, they were really difficult for me to get through. Like, I don't know why, because in theory I feel like I should be eating this up. And I am, but not as much as I thought I would. And the beginning and the middle I loved, but I feel like after page 500 I was just a bit like, girl, can we move it along? I just feel like the pacing for me feels a bit off, because we have all these different perspectives and then we only focus on one perspective. And sometimes like we randomly put like a Niklae's chapter in there, or Loth sometimes, but usually it's either Eid and now it's just Tane. And then that kind of confuses me because, I don't know, I feel like I don't have like a very balanced picture of all the perspectives and of the characters, and then I forget things that happened like 500 pages ago. You have this end goal of defeating the Nameless One and saving the world, basically, but then you have all these very tiny side stories, which is, I get that's like the basic structure of a plot, but the way it's done in here, maybe it's just because it's so long, but it just feels like all we do is follow like those side storylines, and like the main, like there's no main plot throughout this book, which I don't know if that makes sense. If you're watching this right now, you've read the book, at least I'm presuming, and if you have, maybe you can tell me if you know what I mean, because I don't really know what I mean. We could have balanced out the perspectives much better, taken out a lot of information that doesn't serve the plot or the world building or the characters. It's just like establishing the scene, but a lot of that can happen in a reader's mind, I feel like. And we could have had like a bit more of a coherent plot, in my opinion, because sometimes when every page you turn, you have absolutely no clue what is going to happen. There's not that drive for me to continue, because I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no clue. There's nothing that these characters are working towards right now except for this huge goal of defeating the Nameless One, but otherwise everything could happen right now. And while that's fun and mysterious and cool and maybe more realistic than having like much more of a plot structure and outline, I feel like as a reader, it, especially with a book this long, it can get a bit exhausting, at least for me. Last predictions that I'm gonna do for this book, which is crazy. So regarding Loth, right? Loth is now in the city of 12 lakes, 1,000 flowers, something like that. My prediction for Loth is either he's gonna leave that place and go join Queen Sabran and Eid and Tane and everyone to fight in Cascarrow and fight with the Don Mata, whose name I forgot. And then they're gonna be in love. Or, hear me out, he's gonna stay, at least for now, which he is, but he's gonna stay a bit longer for now. And I did get like a feeling, and my feeling, which is the same with, like, which was the same with Eid and Sabran, which is just that they're of similar age, and it was mentioned, is like, what's the deal with the, what's his name? Is it the Emperor? The Unseething Emperor? I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, wait. And then, yeah, that was my thought, because Sabran obviously doesn't want to marry the Emperor, right? But the Emperor was like, okay, well, it's tradition to like forge alliances through marriage. Sabran doesn't want to, but who's another noble from the West who could like forge that alliance with the East through marriage? Loth. Yeah, I feel like it's pretty delusional. It's not gonna happen. It would be really fun though. Like, you can't lie, it would be a lot of fun. So, I am still sick, as you can probably hear. Maybe you can see it as well. It's okay. But I'm about to finish the book. I've got like 30 pages left. And shit is going down. Everything is going down. But also, I feel like 30 pages is very little. Like, compared to the rest for this huge battle. I finished the book. I did it. I can't believe I did it, honestly.
I feel like I need to process, I need to think. Okay, I can say I love this book. I love the world and the world building and the characters and also the story. I think, as I mentioned before, there's some things I would have liked to see done differently, but I need to sit with this for a while and yeah, give my mind some space to actually think about this. As you saw, I finished the book. It's been 2 days. I've had some time to think about it. I've had some time to get my thoughts settled, and now I've come to let you know my final thoughts of The Priory of the Orange Tree. I can start by saying I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoy having read it. And I'm saying this because I enjoyed reading it, but not all the time. I did have moments whilst reading it where I really didn't want to continue, where it really dragged out for me a lot, and where I just wasn't invested at all anymore in the characters or in the story or anything. And I've seen a lot of reviews that said the complete opposite, that they were like enraptured and they were like, what, I've read 500 pages already? And that definitely wasn't the case for me. I really had to push through a lot of the times in this book, but having read it now, I can really appreciate it a lot in hindsight. I can really appreciate knowing the entire story, having gotten to know this world and the craft that went into the details of this world and the politics and religions, traditions and everything. But the pacing and the plot structure were things that during the process of reading this book were really lacking for me at times. A lot of the time I felt my attention drifting. I felt that I couldn't concentrate and that I don't know, I just really had to force myself to pick this book back up at times. So in that aspect, I did not like it as much. And I think something that I realized whilst editing this video so far and hearing all my thoughts again on the book throughout reading it, I realized that one thing that was missing for me at times were more emotional goals. And I don't know necessarily if that makes sense. Makes sense for me right now. Maybe it won't in a week. But I'm thinking that we had a lot of factual goals or general goals to save the world or to do this and that. And of course, we had emotional goals in a way that Tane wanted to rescue her dragon and everything, and Eid wanted to get back to Sabran and Loth to his home and everything. But I think that maybe the narrative didn't dwell enough on the emotional impact. It was more like, okay, I feel bad because my dragon got abducted and so now I'm gonna rescue my dragon. Whereas for me, really getting into these emotions that come up and the details of those emotions would have hooked me a lot more, I think, and really closed that distance that I felt a lot of the times with the characters. Maybe what I mean is more emotional detail, because I think a lot of the times this, and maybe that comes with the genre of high epic fantasy, I don't know, because I haven't read loads, but I think in order to get me really excited about a story and about the characters and the world, and I know that's definitely a personal thing. I'm a very character-driven person regarding books, but I need emotional details and I need to feel like the characters are really letting me in completely. And I didn't feel that in this book a lot of the times. And I think, for example, when Eid had to flee the palace and wanted to get back to Sabran, it all happened rather quickly, and I think that I would have appreciated or been maybe just more excited and more hooked to have a bit more emotional depth in those scenes, or maybe in the scene where Eid and Sabran reunited. I think that was the aspect that was missing for me, and that is, for me personally, such a huge thing that keeps me engaged in books. I need to feel like the characters are completely honest in sharing all that they're feeling. I need to, I don't know, I just really need to feel their pain and be able to see it, but also their joy and whatever else they're feeling. That was the aspect that was missing for me in this book. And sadly, that's something that impacted reading this so much for me. Other than that, I can really just, as I said, I can really appreciate having read this book. I can appreciate knowing this story, knowing this world, knowing all the details that went into the creation of this world and of these characters and of the religion, history, culture, traditions of this, I don't know, of this very well thought out world. And I do love that, and I love that aspect about it. And I think having read it now, it's definitely also a book that will stay with me for the world building, and not necessarily for much else, but for the world building, absolutely. And I think I can really appreciate this book in hindsight for that reason. I don't know what I would rate this. Every rating feels too small, but I have that oftentimes with big books where I'm like, this is too big for me to rate because so much happened. I think currently I'm maybe at a 4.25, maybe, yeah, maybe a 4 or 4.25, but I feel like a star rating can't like encapture what this experience has been. It was really fun to watch myself do all of these random ass predictions. I was editing this video, I remembered how I thought maybe Tane and Sabran were gonna be a romantic couple at some point, which is so funny, like, girl. But that was like at the very beginning. It was so fun to like do all of these predictions and to really make myself think what could happen. I think Nick Clay's story we could have done without, honestly. I am very serious because, in my opinion, up until the very end, his story really delivered nothing. That sounds so mean, but unless I'm forgetting like a vital moment, like, yes, the mulberry tree, but also that entire mulberry tree storyline felt very unnecessary to me. It just felt like it didn't even do anything, right? Like nothing. And so, you know, sometimes you had like storylines which I think are cool, like the Golden Empress and everything, and her being like the ex basically of the unceasing emperor and everything, and you see how all that plays together, and that's really cool. But I feel like Nikolai's story we could have done without, honestly, and I am sorry, but it didn't give me anything ever, sadly, except 1 or 2 times. Like, it was sad about like Jan having died and everything, but it never really felt substantial in any way. I think it's time to wrap this up. Honestly, I don't have anything more to say. I really am so glad to have read this now, and I would love to hear your thoughts if you've read this book. I want to hear like what you think, if you completely disagree with me on everything, or if you agree, or whatever, if you don't care, whatever. I want to hear all your thoughts on this book. So if you have any, please let me know, because I would really love that, to see what other people think. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching me read this book and make insane and delusional predictions along the way. And I hope you're having a great day. And yeah, I'll see you very soon, and until next time, bye.